Hello, it's Mr. Schneider with our first podcast of the new year. I guess this is also the first podcast I made exclusively for this class because I'm redoing the way that we're going to talk about the different levels of government, so lucky you. We're going to start off with federalism. Federalism, powers are shared between the three levels of government: state, national, and local, with the federal or national government reigning supreme. I will intermix the use of federal and national. And then this is created by Article 6 of the Constitution. Federal government is supreme. So in our Constitution, our federal government is divided into three branches. Article 1 deals with the legislative, Article 2 deals with the executive, and Article 3 deals with the judicial. We'll get more in depth on each of those as we talk specifically about each branch. So let's talk about the powers that are granted the federal government. They're either expressed, enumerated, or they're implied, and we'll talk about that difference in one moment. But the powers of the legislative branch are in Article 1, Section 8. The articles of the executive branch are in Article 2, Section 2, and the powers of the judicial branch are in Article 3, Section 2 of the Constitution. So what's the difference between expressed and implied powers? Express powers are those that are listed specifically in the Constitution. Things like creating a postal service and the ability to coin money. These are powers that the writers of the Constitution gave specifically to the federal government. Implied powers are not in the Constitution, but those are the powers that are necessary for the government to run. These include things like the military draft and the creation of the Federal Reserve Bank. Sometimes these can be controversial. Not all people agree with them, but the Constitution does give the federal government the right to expand its powers beyond those that are written in the Constitution. There are also reserved powers, and I need to make a correction here, so give me one moment because I made a mistake when I was typing. These are powers not given to the national government by the Constitution, and they are reserved for the states. This is the 10th Amendment to the Constitution, and these powers include things like a lot of licensing, like marriage licenses and driver's licenses. So, gay marriage is a very hot button topic right now. And for the most part, the federal government has left it up to the states determining whether or not they will allow gay marriage to proceed. And then driver's licenses, as I'm sure you know, as you get closer to driving age, a lot of different states have different ages when it comes to driving. Back when I was able to drive, and this was after the Model T was invented, I'm not that old, where I grew up, it was 16. I had a cousin who grew up in South Carolina, and you could start getting your learner's permit when you were 14 and a half. So that's something that the federal government has left up to the states. Then we have things like concurrent powers, and these are things that are shared by all levels of government. One is taxation. You pay federal, we've talked about taxes before. You obviously pay a federal income tax. You pay a state income tax. In some jurisdictions, again, where I grew up outside of Pittsburgh, we had to pay a 1% wage tax to the county every year. That's a local tax. You don't have to pay that in Fairfax. However, to Fairfax, you do have to pay a car tax. All levels of government maintain roads. We have interstate highways. We have roads that are maintained by the state, and then your neighborhood roads, most of them are maintained by the local government. And then we have different levels of court. We have federal courts, we have state courts, and then we have Fairfax County General District Courts. And that's it for federalism. We'll talk more about this in class, and I hope you have a good day, and I will see you in class. If you didn't know yet, Finance Park has been rescheduled for Monday, February 3rd. Thanks, and have a great day.